So U.S. debt, as I mentioned off top of the show, I think this is my most powerful graph or chart. I think it's a graph that I'm going to show you. The U.S. now has well over 30 trillion in debt, and over the next, I guess, few quarters, they're going to be paying more in interest on that debt than they're actually spending on defense spending, which is pretty scary. And you can see that, or Bloomberg reported recently that the actual amount has actually doubled over the past 19 months. Not 19 years, I was going to say years, but 19 months, which is pretty scary, right? In the less than 2 years, we've seen this amount double. And so let's show the chart of the cost of U.S. debt piles surging. Look at that graph. Wow, it's unbelievable how steep that line has become. And you can see in the last couple of years how high the cost of U.S. debt has become. And really for the markets, I think what it comes down to is, when the bonds, when the Treasury Secretary has to, I guess, pay for all this debt, when the U.S. has to pay for their debt commitments, they have to pay for, things such as the CHIPS Act or the infrastructure bill that they're putting through. So they have to raise the money. They have to sell bonds, and of course, they have to pay interest for all the bonds that they're selling to raise all this cash. And lately, some of the bonds they've been selling, especially some of the longer term bonds like the 30-year, those auctions aren't going so well. We're seeing interest rates rise significantly on the days of those auctions because nobody seems to want to hold long-term debt in the U.S. at 4%. They won't even consider it unless you're offering it at 5% or higher. So we're seeing the long-term bonds really affected by the amount of debt that the U.S. is carrying. We're hearing more and more politicians, we're hearing analysts, economists really speak a lot about U.S. debt and the amount of interest this is going to be costing the country in the coming months and years. And the hope is that they can get their spend under control. We've been saying that for a long time, but hopefully, whether it's Democrats being reelected next year or whether it's someone else that comes into the White House, hopefully they can attack this debt level and really bring some comfort to a lot of investors.